Welcome to another episode of Be Amazing or Go Home. Here's what's on tap for this week's show. Creating confidence with your customers. We have the secret to customer service success, and it's a lot simpler than you think. The art of Giftology, the master of showing appreciation, John Ruhlin, tells you how to keep customers coming back through the power of gift giving. And Andre Norman, this is an amazing story you do not want to miss. So, are you ready to be amazing? Stay tuned for all of this and more coming up next on Be Amazing or Go Home. Hello, I'm Shep, and this is Be Amazing or Go Home, the show dedicated to take you from average to amazing. Now, there's an old saying in the real estate industry. The three keys to success are location, location, and location. Now, I have a similar take on the customer service world. The three keys to customer service and experience success are consistency, consistency, and consistency. If there's something that is a non-negotiable to creating customer loyalty, it's a consistent and predictable experience, one that customers can count on every time they do business with you. The entire experience must be consistent. You can't be amazing one day and just okay the next. The moment there's inconsistency, you start to lose the customer's confidence, and ultimately, you might lose the customer. So, let's talk about the different ways an organization delivers consistent experiences. Quality. The quality of the product or the service must be consistent. Whatever the company sells must meet the expectations of the customer every time. It doesn't matter how good your customer service is. If the product doesn't do what it's supposed to do, the customer will find another company that better meets their needs. Number two is interaction. The different channels customers interact with you and your organization must be consistent. Today's customers connect with the companies they do business with in multiple ways, including emails, chatbots, social channels, and much more. This is all part of the digital revolution, and the modern customer expects to have a consistent experience regardless of the channel. Attitude. The attitude of the people who work at the company must be consistent. Now, I'm not suggesting that everyone be a clone of each other. It's the positive attitude and the effort employees make to take care of their customers that must be consistent. Everyone comes to work with the plan to do their very best every day. Regardless of who picks up the phone or responds to a message, the customer will always have a good experience. When customers talk about the consistent company, they'll say things like, well, they're always so helpful, or something like, they're always so friendly and knowledgeable. When customers use the word always, you know there is consistency. Delivering a consistent experience creates confidence. Confidence can lead to trust, and trust leads to potential loyalty. Consistency, consistency, consistency. The three C's of customer service success. The foundation of amazement is to show gratitude. And my next guest is here to tell you about the art and science of using gifts to cut through the noise, increase referrals, and strengthen customer retention. So I am pleased to welcome my friend John Ruhlin, the author of Giftology, into the studio. Welcome, John.
Shep, thanks for having me.
So excited about the book, excited about the whole concept of gifting. Let's start off that gifting is, for you, it's a business and it's for business. So share with us what you're all about.
Yeah, well, every business is about relationships, and most people say one thing and do another when it comes to showing that their clients, their employees, that they're valued. And at the end of the day, Giftology, the whole core of what we do is we help leaders think strategically about how they love on their most important relationships but tied to ROI. Most people say, oh, I want to feel warm and fuzzy, or I want to check the box once a year at Christmas.
Give them a gift for Christmas.
Yeah, check the box.
Ham.
Yeah, give them a gift card, give them whatever.
Give them that fruit cake.
A lot of those things are unfortunately, exactly. A lot of those things are given, and most people have put very little thought. They use the excuse that, oh, it's the thought that counts. I'm like, no, it's the thoughtful thought that is going to count. And in business today, like if you're not differentiating yourself, like you're dead. And so gifting is
thoughtful thought that counts. I like that. That's a quote.
It is a quote.
That's going to go down. So thoughtful thought. You wrote this book, Giftology.
Yep.
And I know you have a copy of it with you.
Yeah.
Show us this book.
So,
and by the way, this is the way it comes. This is the advanced.
This is the VIP copy.
Copy.
So originally we made 50 of these for like the Sheps of the world, the Darren Hardys, the Michael Hyatts, and they cost $200 a piece.
Holy cow!
The thought was
for a book.
Mm-hmm. Most people say my book costs 99 cents. I'm like, why would you go cheap on? This is supposed to be your Bible. This is like your life's work. And so, when our book it's in a linen box. It comes in a leather bag. And when we gave it out to people, they were all personally monogrammed to them and their spouse. And so when they got it, a lot of people like Michael Hyatt get, 5,000 books sent to them every year?
Yeah, he's going to remember when it shows up in a leather. Look at this. This is beautiful. You can see this. Leather, and this is nicer than the jewelry I buy my wife at holiday time. I'm learning something already. And so, in this book, it's a business strategy. Gifting is a marketing strategy.
Gratitude as a competitive advantage.
Yep.
If you want to drive more referrals, if you want to open more doors and get access to CEOs, if you want to engage prospects or retain your most important people, most people make their decisions based upon how they feel emotionally, and then they justify logically. When you love on people the right way year-round, not when it's out of obligation after a referral or some obligatory time like Christmas, when you surprise and delight somebody, what do? They want to reciprocate. It's how the DNA, that's how God's wired us.
They want to do more business with you.
They want to do more business with you. They want to send more referrals. Like we've seen people 100x their referrals just by putting into practice the playbook and the Giftology system that we built.
Right. So some of your clients include companies like the NFL and Major League Baseball and National Hockey League, because these high-end companies and people, your gift, the suites, the luxury suites.
Yep.
These companies, the leagues are buying their customers these gifts. But I got to show you something. I brought something. Okay. Don't get scared. Are you ready for this?
I can't believe
it's a knife. It's a knife. And I'm not here to give
hurt somebody.
No, to hurt somebody. I feel like Janet Leigh in Psycho or whatever. So, but on this knife, it's engraved. I got this knife from you, and there's no way you're probably going to be able to see the engraving here, but it basically says made exclusively for Shep and Cindy Hyken.
Yep.
Nowhere on here does it have your logo.
No Giftology. It says Cutco because it's a luxury brand.
That's a brand. Something you sell. But I love when you sent me the note. Thanks for carving out the time to meet with me. It was the first time we met. And the basic message was, wow, and then this is cool. And every time I pick up this knife and I cut myself as I'm cutting the vegetables, I think, darn that John Ruhlin. No, I actually think great things. And that's one of your secrets, is to not put your company logo on the gift that you're giving to your recipient.
Yeah, it's one of our 5 parts of the system is personalization. Mm-hmm. If you're going to give a gift by its very nature should be about the recipient. It's all about them, their name, their spouse's name, their family name. It's your logo, not mine. And the main concept is if you give a nice enough gift, subconsciously they would never forget where it came from. And every time you use the knife, and Cindy uses the knife, you remember. Most of the time, if you're not cutting yourself, you're remembering John Ruhlin, you're thinking positive thoughts. So for over 10 years, you've had that knife for 10 years, you use it once a day, that's 3,600 impressions.
Right, it's amazing. Crazy. It's amazing. All right, we don't have a whole lot of time left, so let's get into, we just showed you a great gift. How about some bad gifts? And actually, you've written a whole thing about the worst gifts to give. Give us an example of a couple of bad gifts.
Unfortunately, most people get embarrassed when I share them because it's like their entire playbook of what they've been giving for the last 30 years. But it's things like gift cards. People are like, why is a gift card bad? I'm like, well, the goal is to make somebody say, hey, you're being thoughtful. Mm-hmm. And when you mail it in and say, hey, here's a piece of plastic, go buy your own gift, that doesn't make anybody feel known or feel VIP or feel special. That's the exact opposite.
And so, 2 years from now, hey, don't you remember that gift I gave you? What did he give me?
No idea.
Right.
It's not tangible. Most of the time they get lost. They get spent on groceries or some random thing. They don't remember even what they bought for it, if they even used it. So gift cards are one of the worst. The other thing is consumables. People are like, why can't I give wine or food or hams?
Or a fruitcake.
Or a fruitcake or Harry and David. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, first off, when they consume it, you get one impression. But nowadays, people are gluten-free and they're on diets and paleo and all these other things. So you send somebody alcohol and they're in AA or their dad is. Or I mean, there's so many ways. You don't know, and you end up offending them. So you spend money to have one impression at best, and in most cases, you end up offending people or giving them something that they really don't need or want.
All right. Well, the book is called Giftology, available through Amazon and pretty much everywhere. If you want to get this white paper that you're referring to that we talked about earlier, the worst 10 gifts.
Yeah, the whole white paper that we take all of our clients through, whether they're a solopreneur or a pro sports team, go to thegiversedge.com.
The Giver's Edge.
It's a free. They can get it for free and use it with their marketing team or their sales team to avoid what.
All right, my buddy John Ruhlin, thanks for being on the show, and thanks for teaching us the art of appreciation. Time now for this week's amazing app, and this app was created to rehumanize your business relationships. BombBomb is a video platform that gets you face-to-face with the people who matter most. BombBomb allows you to send simple videos through email, social media, and text to truly connect with your clients or customers when faceless typed-out text gets ignored. BombBomb also makes the whole process of recording and sending video super easy. There are no downloads, links, or attachments. Customers see your face right away and simply click to start playing your video. You can also record yourself or what's on your screen if you need to review documents or give a presentation. BombBomb's full sales platform empowers you to build trust, convert more leads, and get more referrals by simply getting face-to-face more often. And they have the numbers to back it up. BombBomb also tracks every engagement and gives you alerts, notifications, and reports so you can follow up more efficiently and effectively. And because of integrations with all the major industry leaders, BombBomb is ready to use in your daily workflow without having to switch between platforms. Whether it's through email inbox or mobile messaging, you can record from any device and have people play it back on any device. No matter the channel of your digital communication, a simple video makes it more human, more clear, and more effective. If you're looking to rehumanize your communication, then this might be the app for you. BombBomb is this week's amazing app. My next guest truly knows what it means to take a moment of misery and turn it into a moment of magic. Andre Norman's experience and expertise empowered him to build a program for individuals and corporations on how to turn any situation around. And having survived rock bottom, Andre knew he could help others do the same. The ambassador of hope, Andre Norman, joins me now in the studio. Welcome, Andre, to Be Amazing or Go Home.
I love the title. I love the title.
I had fun putting that one together. But hey, this is not about me right now. This is all about you. You have an incredible story. So how old were you when the big incident happened?
I was 18 when I got sent to prison.
18 sent to prison. And
I was 24 when I had my epiphany.
Okay, so there was about 6 years. You were sent to prison for?
Robbing drug dealers.
Robbing drug dealers.
Yeah, they had the money.
They had the money. Yeah, it's like go where the money is.
Go where the money is.
Go to the banks.
It used to be the banks.
Now it's the drug dealers.
Now it's the drug dealers.
And so even if you rob a drug dealer who's doing something illegal, it's still illegal.
It's still technically illegal, yes.
Wow, and so you go to jail, you're sentenced to 14 years.
I was sentenced to 25 plus years. Then while I was inside, I picked up an extra 10. Then I finally got my mind together and I went to court, taught myself the law. I reversed one of my cases on appeal.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, fascinating. So that's another story. We want to get into how you turn it all around. So you go in there, and you mentioned before we went on the air here that you spent 2 years in the dark. They put you in solitary, in the dark. What was that like?
That was like a life-changing moment. They stick you in a cell. They stick you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're locked in the basement, and you just don't come out. Twice a week for showers, maybe 10 minutes total. And one or two things happen. Either your mind gets really strong, or your mind just goes to pieces.
Well, I have a feeling it got really strong because I know what you're doing now with the 180X. And 180 is in turn 180, turn it all around.
Turn all the way around.
And in that 2-year period, apparently something popped into your head and it turned around.
When I sat in that basement, I realized that I was becoming the king of nowhere. I wanted to turn it around, and I turned my life around, took it to the street, and I wanted to help other people turn their situations around as well.
So what are you doing now to turn things around for other people?
I go to companies, And I'm that guy who goes in the community and helps them make the community bridge. Every company wants to make a difference, and I help them make a difference. Every family member, mom and dad, wants to make a difference. I help them make differences. Churches want to make differences. So I'm that guy who speaks the language or can be the vehicle to that space you're trying to reach.
So give me an example of something you've turned around.
Something I've turned
Or a community, a company hires you. Walk me through the process. I have a company. I want to make a difference. I want to, something that's really important to me is I want to make sure people don't go to bed hungry. I want to help feed the hungry.
So there was a company in St. Louis called Keeley Cares.
Yes.
Keeley Companies. They brought me in. They had a week of outreach. So I joined their team. I went to their company. And we did a whole week, 7 days, of just going to different schools in the suburban areas, in the urban settings, juvenile centers, reentry centers, homeless shelters, and just speaking and training for the entire week. But it wasn't just me, it was me and his employees. And employees took part of the things that mattered to them. So it wasn't Andre on the white horse, it was us in the buggy doing it together.
So you have cracked the code, so to speak, and created a process for how to give back to a community.
Definitely.
And help companies and individuals do the same.
Definitely.
Is there something that you're passionate about, that you're really involved in, that you're trying to give back and help people as much as you possibly can?
My number one goal right now, kids who are dying from opioids. So I'm setting up opioid treatment centers and outreach agencies across the country. These kids are just dropping like flies, and it's not necessary. So in the suburban areas, there's not many outreach centers, outreach people, drug addiction programs. In the inner city, we have tons of them. So I'm trying to take the inner city, drive that bridge to the suburbs to keep these kids alive.
Wow, that is good work, good work. What's the most interesting, most exciting thing that you've done so far? Your biggest success story?
My biggest success story was...
I mean, by the way, saving one kid is a success story.
My biggest success story is my son. He's 13 years old. He fences. He plays cricket. He reads and writes Latin. He trades Forex after school. And he's just a wonderful kid. And even though that I was a gang member and I was a criminal, he doesn't have to be. So my biggest success is he's living a life so far removed from crime and violence that I want to cry every time I look at him.
Wow, wow. Well, you're a great role model, and you show both sides of it. You show the dark side, and you show what can happen if you see the light. And maybe being in the dark for 2 years may have turned you around at that moment, but it takes sustainability. It takes a special person. It takes that psyche inside of you and that heart that you have. So thanks for being amazing and helping so many people. Really appreciate you being on the show, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. It's time to hear from you and time to ask Shep. You can find me on Twitter, and my handle is @Hyken, Hyken. And don't forget to use the hashtag AskShep. So let's start with Lindsay Schultz. She manages business operations for a real estate company, and she tweets, "We must take care of our customers in many different ways, in person, on the phone, and even online. How do I find the right balance between the human and digital customer experience?" Well, that is a great question. And here's some thoughts on it. Number one, you should have a presence on your website, the digital experience. That's your frequently asked questions. And really great is to put videos of frequently asked questions with answers. And then, of course, you have the personal side. That's when somebody calls you up and they need help. What we want to do is try to train our customers to go first to the website, look for the answers that they seek, and if they can't find them, then come to us. But here's the key. You must make it easy for the customer to find us. You must make sure that name, that phone number, the company, the way to contact our people is right there, front and center, easy to find us. And by the way, if you're talking to a customer on the phone and you feel that a video that you might have online might be a better opportunity for them to learn what they need to, you can shift them back to digital from the human side. So it's the balance between digital and human. Sometimes it goes digital to a human, sometimes it goes human to digital. So next up is Dan Gregory, and he's getting ready to open up a sporting goods store, and he tweets, "I'm hoping my staff will be ready to amaze when we open our doors. How do I create a culture where everyone feels accountable to the purpose of the business?" Well, first of all, as the leader, you need to define what that purpose is. You need to define what you call your customer service vision. And by the way, it should be real simple, a one sentence or even less than one sentence expression that everybody can hang on to and remember. For example, at our company, it's Always be amazing. And everything we do is about amazing each other in our company and amazing our clients and teaching our clients to be amazing. So first is set the tone by creating the service vision. Second is to communicate it to everybody. Third, you must train everybody to this vision. And as the leader, you must showcase and be the role model. And if it's working, you need to celebrate it when it works. So that's how it starts, by creating that culture of amazement. Finally, we hear from Henry Davis, who's an Uber driver, and he tweets this: "You talk a lot about moments of misery and moments of magic. How do you define a moment of misery and then turn it into a moment of magic?" Well, the moment of misery is anything that goes wrong, any complaint the customer might be having, any problem that might be out there. And what you need to do when you find out about it is seize it as an opportunity to not just resolve the issue, but restore confidence with the customer by creating a positive experience, and I refer to that as a moment of magic. So when that happens, here's a quick 5-step process to get you to creating that moment of magic and restoring confidence. Number 1, acknowledge that there's a problem. For example, "Thanks for bringing this to my attention. I'd be upset if that happened to me." Number 2, apologize for it. "And I'm sorry that it happened. By the way, you can flip 1 and 2. It doesn't matter." Number 3, you must resolve the issue or discuss what you're going to do to resolve the issue. Number 4, you must take ownership. May not be your fault, but it's your opportunity, and you need to own what comes your way. And number 5, act with urgency. Do it quickly. So, are you ready to be amazing? Find me on Twitter, and the handle again is @Hyken, Hyken, and be sure to use the hashtag #AskShep to ask me your question or to share your amazing story. Time now for this week's amazing quote. "With great power comes great responsibility, and because of social media, customer service has to be our top priority. Perhaps now more than ever." And Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos says it best: "If you make your customers unhappy in the physical world, they might each tell 6 friends. If you make your customers unhappy on the internet, they can each tell 6,000. Our actions now have much greater ramifications. It only takes a moment for an unhappy customer to write something negative about your company, and it could sour thousands or even millions of others. But the opposite could be true. If a customer receives amazing service, they could tell everyone they know about you, and it could potentially reach an enormous amount of people. It really isn't an option in today's world to refuse to have a social media presence. Monitor what's happening with your company or products and watch to see who's saying what about you. If there's something positive, react to it. If there's a complaint, well, respond to it quickly. Social media can be an outlet for your customers to get to know the real you. Be transparent and authentic. This is what customers want and crave. Social media has made it easier than ever to reach thousands of people all at once. But remember, because of this easy access, it only takes a moment for your reputation to be ruined forever. So it's extra important in the social media era to take the responsibility with great seriousness. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Be Amazing or Go Home. Remember, you can find me on Twitter. My handle is @Hyken, and use the hashtag #AskShep to post your questions or share your stories. This is Shep Hyken, reminding you to always be amazing.